All right, ladies and gents, you are going to pull this paper out of your folder. You are going to cut around the dotted line on the outside. You will need this half sheet of paper. You will need this paper that looks like this. You are going to cut around the outside for now and also cut out that little rectangle. And finally, you're going to cut out around the outside of this piece and then those 6 rectangles. All right, so here's what this should look like. Please go ahead and pause as you are working on this. So I cut around the outside of this first paper here, and then I'm going to fold it on the solid line down the middle, and I'll be finished with that. This paper here that was in half sheets, I folded it on both of the solid lines. See, I folded it? And then they do overlap a little bit, so I just went ahead and I kind of cut them off so that they no longer overlap. I took this sheet here and I cut out around the outside, and then you can see I also cut apart that little rectangle at the top. And again, pause as you need to. And then finally, the last sheet, I have these 2 squares. Here I cut around the outside, and then there are 6 rectangles. So we're gonna go ahead and get our papers now. We're gonna start with page 17. Page 17 is interpreting remainders. So we're gonna write that on the top, and I'm gonna put some glue on the back here. And I'm gonna go ahead and glue this down here and write interpreting remainders up here at the top. Okay, so when you're finished, on the top of page 17, you should have interpreting remainders. And then you should have your paper here. You're gonna go ahead and cut, and pause again as you need to. You're gonna cut on all the dotted lines so that all 4 of these open separately. After you're finished with that, we're gonna move on to our next page, which is page 18. On the top of page 18, you're going to write proportions, rates, and ratios. So pause again as needed. On the bottom of the page, you are going to take your paper that looks like this. You are going to put a bunch of glue on the back here, and you're going to glue it down here on the bottom. Okay. On the top, you are going to grab your part-to-part square. You're going to flip it over, and on the back, you are going to put glue in a U shape around the outside. So essentially what we're doing is we are creating a little pocket here that we can stick some pieces of paper in. So you'll see I can actually stick things down in here then. I'm going to stick these slips of paper that I have there. Okay, so you're going to put U shape of glue it down. Then you're going to get the second one that says part to hold. It's really important you follow directions so you don't mess this up. You are going to, again, flip it over. See how there's the U on the front? You are going to flip it over. You're going to put some glue right along the outside in a U shape, just along the outside, not across the top, just in a U. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip it over. And again, I'm going to glue that down there. But when I'm done, I again should be able to stick some of these pieces of paper the whole way down in here. Okay, so I'm not putting glue on the whole back, it's just the U shape. Here's what my final paper looks like. So it's labeled page 18. It says proportions, rates, and ratios. And I'm going to take the 6 rectangle sheets of paper that I cut out. I'm going to go ahead and just stick them here in either part to part or part to whole for the time being so that I have them for when we go over them in class. And you'll see that this is taken care of down here. So it flips open and it's glued in, and I am ready to take my notes the next day that we do this. Okay, again, continue to keep pausing as you need to. We're going to take page 18 and flip it to the back side. You're going to grab this last green piece of paper. This one's a little tricky. It's really, really very important that we pay attention to all the directions, okay? You are going to cut, sorry guys, my camera keeps going out of focus. You're going to cut here, across these 4 boxes, and across these 4 boxes, so that when I'm finished, I don't cut the whole way across. Okay, it goes to right here. Okay, then what we're going to do is we are going to start folding. So I'm going to start back here. I'm going to start with rate and unit ratio. I'm going to take this box here. I'm going to fold it so that it's facing this one. I'm going to take it and I will flip it so it folds over here. I'm going to put a crease on that line. And then I'm going to bring it back. If you're stuck, rewind, play it again, figure out how it works. And I'm going to flip it to the left, back over on this next line. And finally, I'm going to flip it back to the right on my last line. So if I did it correctly, I can see the word rates. Excuse me. And I'm going to do the same thing with ratios. I'm going to fold it to the left, crease it, fold it back to the right so I can see my letters, fold it to the left, and finally fold it to the right. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my last one. To the left, to the right, to the left, and then back to the right. Sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand while holding the iPad, so it's kind of going sideways, but you get the idea. So when I'm finished, it looks like this. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to put some glue all on the back side here. Not doing the best job. And across here. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to glue it onto the back of page 18 like that. I'll do a little bit better job of gluing when I'm finished here, but you're going to glue it on the back so it should look like that. And then I can open it up and I can see all my information. And then on the front of this page, it looks like that. Okay, so keep pausing, do what you need to, go back and rewatch again as necessary.